guys, Rectangular back, this time with another episode of wRecked and Tangled, where I showcase some behind the scenes of a recent A.C.B.A. setup. And basically I'm going to show how I put together my recent A.C.B.A. video montage where Drax and Gladiator are fighting. That was from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Issue 17, pages 10 through 11. So, if you don't read Guardians of the Galaxy, you might not know what the heck is going on, but definitely check that out. I will show the actual comic book panels from the book so that you can see what I was trying to replicate here in the video. I think when I first started out, I had the wrong paper, so you'll see me talk about the setup with the original shot, which was a purple background, and I wanted to get a little bit more accurate color to replicate the comic, so I went and got a pink background to match the comic, and was much happier with that in the end. So you'll see it start off purple and then it'll switch to pink, and I did everything with the pink background. I had to go back and redo the original shot, and basically I just break down every scene or every setup in the entire video, so it's actually going to be in two parts. This is part one, and then next week I'll upload part two. So here we go. Okay, so here we have my usual setup. I've got a shelf and lights hanging down from the shelf, and I have a black piece of fabric hanging behind that, and then down below, I'll pan down, you can see the have a little cart, TV cart, that I use to put the figures on. And right now I've got a piece of construction paper or poster board paper that you can pick up anywhere at your local hobby store or dollar store even. Usually you can get them for about 50 cents a piece. Actually, I'm going to need to flip it around because I can see the residue sticker on the left hand side right here, so I'll need to flip that over before I actually start taking the shots. Right now I'm just kind of documenting my process. I have the idea, I worked on my cutouts, I just got done with those, and right now I am working on the background and the, I guess, foreground, the setting or backdrop for the figures. And what since it's going to be a dirt environment and I don't have enough, actually I don't have the brown impact pieces to build like a rocky surface. It's like a desert planet that they're on. I'm going to have to use actual dirt, so I went under the house and scooped up a bunch of dirt and put it in a couple of plastic bags and brought it up. And I don't want to just throw it on a piece of poster board, so I actually built a tray to put the dirt in out of cardboard. You can see that here. It's just a piece of a cardboard box that I cut out and then put tape all around the edge to try to build a tray so that if any dirt spills off the cardboard, it doesn't go all over my floor. I live in Northern California, and it is this is actually one of the first places that they discovered gold in the United States, or in California. So this is very dry, rocky soil, and it's red, so if you spill it anywhere, it's going to be a disaster trying to clean up. So have to take some precautions here, and hopefully I can build up the edges of the dirt so that you can't actually see the the tape holding it in. I put quite a bit of dirt in the bags. Hopefully I won't need all of it, but I'll just have to try to push it up along the edges so you can't see the masking tape, and try to throw in some pretty hefty dirt clods in there to try to help build up the background with those, and then fill in the rest with the loose dirt. So wish me luck. Let's see how that turned out. Okay, so here's my initial setup. I just got done setting this up, and hopefully it's going to work out. I went back and picked up more. I dumped all the dirt out because I initially had set up everything, had small dirt clods in the back, and was thinking it's just not going to be tall enough to cover the tape and the background, so I decided I needed bigger dirt clods. So I went back under the house, dumped out all the dirt, and picked up a bunch of big dirt clods, some that I can hopefully use to. There's a shot where Drax and Gladiator are on the ground, and so I need like a surface to put the figures on. So I got a couple, really, that one on the far left, and then another one's even bigger than that. It's got a mostly flat surface. I'm hoping I can put those together and kind of build a floor or ground to put the figures on, to do those shots. So I picked up a bunch of more smaller dirt clods to build up the scene here, and yeah, so far pretty happy. I'm hoping I can get the camera low enough and crop the shot so that I don't see the cardboard. I'll just have to mess around with that and maybe add a little bit more smaller debris to fill in the space so you can't tell it's cardboard, but so far I'm pretty happy. And yeah, let's go ahead and continue with the process. Alright, so I just got done taking this first photo, and I'm showing it to you pulled all the way back, or zoomed all the way back, and also I'm shooting in widescreen. So when I took the picture, it was in 3:4 aspect ratio, and I was zoomed in. The original panel from the comic basically shows him from just below his crotch, just to the top of his mohawk. So that's how I had it cropped. Now it's not going to crop exactly the same way because I'm in widescreen, but this kind of gives you an idea of how the picture turned out, and I'll show that once I'm done just running through this video process. So yeah, it was a little bit challenging. The stand is hidden behind the figure, which is holding the cutout up. I've been using masking tape to attach my cutouts to my stands lately because I only have sticky tack. I don't have, well, actually I do have some cheese wax, but I've found that the cheese wax is very greasy, and that sticky tack, the light, you can see the blue that is coming up from behind the cutout, so you see this kind of like blue shadow or blob through the cutout. And so I've been using masking tape, and it works really well, and it's a lot more forgiving. As far as when you need to make an adjustment, it tends to stay in place a lot better than sticky tack. Basically, when sticky tack warms up, it tends to move a lot. So just showing you different angles here. And so when you're shooting a video for for the tournament, this is why video is so much more difficult, because I'd have to, if I wanted to shoot this video and pan around, I can only do it from angles where I'm not going to see the stand that's showing the cutout. Also, the background is going to disappear. So you're going to need multiple sheets of paper to extend your background for all the different angles. Some people might be able to shoot video in, well, I guess if you lower the resolution of your video, you can the aspect ratio will be smaller, and then you don't have to worry so much when I'm doing here in widescreen. You know, it's going to be a lot wider. You're going to have to worry about a lot bigger area to hide different things in your setup. So anyway, yeah, I'm going to move on to the next photo, and then we'll document that. So I was all ready to move on to the next photo, but I was too distracted by the inaccurate color of the background. So I went to my local dollar store, and luckily we have more than one dollar store in town. One of them had the perfect colored pink for the background, so I picked up a sheet of that, and then I picked up a poster board that was light pink, you know, for future shots. But this color turned out perfectly. And I tweaked the shot a little bit. I removed the rocks that were on the upper left hand corner there, just below the speech bubbles, and let's see, what else did I do? And changed the pose a little bit, and I changed the position of the speech bubble to make it reflect more of how it appears in the comic panel. It's actually a little bit above his mouth, so always trying to shoot for as close to the comic panel as possible. So very happy with the final results, and I will show those pictures now. Okay, so now I am going to keep grinding on the next pictures in the setup. Okay, so I just got done shooting this setup. Not as difficult this time. The cutout again is on the same stand. I just rotated it and stuck it on there with the same masking tape. Wasn't able to get it quite as close to the figure as I would have liked, due to the fact that the picture is cropped at a 1:1 ratio, the tightest that I can get on my camera. I could have probably pushed the cutout a little closer and then cropped it on my computer, you know, in editing. But whenever possible, I always like to do all my crops in camera. It just looks better that way. You're going to have a slightly different ratio when you do it in post. So there's a little bit more light in the shot here, just so that you can see the figure. But pan back, same setup. I just moved one of the rocks out of the way and changed up the lighting, because in the comic book panel it looks like the sun. It's actually the sun behind him, and there's actually a moon over his left shoulder as well, but didn't really have a way to pull that off without it making it look goofy, so I just went with this idea and tried to crop out the dagger on or knife on his right hand, because he pretty much never has that, especially in this is from the Marvel Now, the Bendis run of Guardians Volume 3. He actually has gauntlets on, so I was almost debating on going with the movie Drax, but the tattoos was a lot more comic accurate than the Batista Drax The boots, obviously, Batista Drax, the movie Drax, has very similar boots as he does in the Marvel Now costume, but just decided to go with this one. It's a little bit more comic accurate, and then we'll proceed with the rest of the shots. Alright, let's keep on grinding. Well, in my haste, I already took down this setup with Gladiator, so I'm just showing the raw working photo that I created for his shot. This is in a 1:1 aspect ratio again, and it'll be further cropped to go into a side-by-side with Gladiator and Drax, basically staring each other down. So just needed to get Gladiator looking downward, and there's no cutout for him. Just had to, change the light around a little bit, and yeah, there's not a whole lot to say about this one, so I'll go ahead and show the cropped version here. And so once I got it cropped to where it looks like the comic panel, I just wrote down what the dimensions were going to be, so that when I started working on the Drax picture, once I got that cropped, I could resize it to the same size, so they'll fit perfectly together in the final panel shot. Alright, so let's go ahead and show that setup next. Alright, so here we have the setup with Drax. Obviously this is the widescreen version, which I then had to crop down to just get his head, or most of his head, and just below the bottom of the cutout, and just to where his right ear ends. So it was a pretty tight crop. I had the camera in 1:1 aspect ratio again, just because I knew it was going to be a tight crop anyway, and needed the focus to be half on Drax's face and then half on the cutout, so you could read it. I guess, yeah, this is the lighting setup I used. Obviously on my camera I can dial down the ISO quite a bit so that it's not nearly this bright. So I'll show the actual photo here. So that was the 1:1 ratio photo before I cropped it even further to mimic the comic panel. And what I did to get the light to shine in his eyes, to light up his eyes, because it gets a lot darker when I take it out of movie mode, is have this LED strip of lights that came from IKEA, if you can read that, and I use that as my directional light. Instead of using finger lights, are very dim and they tend to die very quickly, so this has been my kind of secret weapon for my shots, is to use this LED bar of lights, and that way I can angle it just in the area that I want. So I got it shined coming from below his face so that it can light up his eyes. So that's how I got the eyes to look so bright there. Obviously it's not nearly going to be so dramatic here on video because of how bright the ISO is set on my camera for video, but it gives you an idea of what I had to do. And since this is a pretty simple shot, it only took me about I would say maybe a dozen pictures before I was pretty happy. It was basically just trying to get the the light on his eye properly, and not too much light hitting the top of his head and his shoulder and the cutout at the same time. So just a lot of light manipulation there. And I actually used a rough cut version of the cutout so that I could keep messing with everything. This is just regular paper, not the cardstock that the actual cutout used for the shot is. So it's just masking tape, and just stuck it there on his chest. Yeah, I've been using blue tack for a while, but noticed that it was just a lot easier to use masking tape. It doesn't the cutout doesn't move nearly as much once you get it on there. So alright, let's go ahead and show the final product with both the Gladiator and Drax from the comic panel, and hopefully you guys liked it.
Hey you, don't forget to hit like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Brock.